I'm Claire and this is Top 5 Wednesday, anticipated pre-orders for the rest of 2015. Now I was really excited about this topic when it came out. There was a lot to choose from, but I'm pretty happy with the list that I've come up with, and I'm going to list them all by order of when they are released, starting the closest to now. And that would be number 1, The Shepherd's Crown by Terry Pratchett, and that comes out on August the 27th. Of course, this is a bit of a bittersweet one because, as you'll probably know, Sir Terry Pratchett passed away in March, and so it's quite sad that it's going to be the last Discworld book. However, it's going to be a Tiffany Aching book, and that is one of my favourite sub-series within the Discworld, and I believe Sir Terry Pratchett himself said that he was quite fond of the Tiffany Aching books and that he thought that that was some of the best writing he had done. So all in all, it's probably a very fitting book to end the series on. Number 2 is Sorcerer to the Crown by Zen Cho, and that comes out on September the 10th. It's Zen Cho's debut novel. And I don't know that much about it except that it's about a man who is a sorcerer appointed to the king, and he's a man of colour in a mostly white court, if I'm not mistaken. And that's a kind of story that I haven't really seen in kind of historical type fantasy, so I'm really interested to check it out. Also, I've heard Zen Cho talking on panels before. She was really interesting, so that's another reason I want to read her book. And look at that fantastic cover. It's really, really lovely. At number 3, we've got Shadows of Self by Brandon Sanderson, and that is the second book in his Wax and Wane trilogy, and that comes out on the 8th of October. Now, I'm relatively new to Brandon Sanderson's Cosmere universe. I've only read the Mistborn trilogy, and so after that, when the Wax and Wane series started coming out, which is set in the same city as Mistborn, but a few hundred years in the future and kind of more steampunky, I got really excited about it. I really liked the first Wax and Wane book, except that I thought it was a bit too short because it's a kind of like normal sized novel, and Brandon Sanderson writes really epic, really long books. So I'm really excited to read this book in particular because I feel like Brandon Sanderson absolutely excels at the very long form, so adding another novel onto the first one I think can only make it better. At number 4, we've got Planetfall by Emma Newman, and that comes out on the 3rd of November. Now, I'm really excited about this because I've read some of Emma Newman's previous work in her Split World series, which was really great fun, but that was fantasy that was kind of set in an alternate Bath that has all of these great families and courtly intrigues. Meanwhile, Planetfall, as you can probably guess by the title, is going to be science fiction, and so I'm really excited to see how she handles that genre. I'm not quite sure what the premise for this one is going to be, except that it's basically like a small village, small town kind of feeling in space, where there's a very limited group of people that are either on a spaceship or on a colony, I can't remember, and basically they all know each other's secrets, there's secrets everywhere, and then all of a sudden there's a new person that arrives from the outside which they thought was impossible. And that, to me, sounds really great, particularly because I can see exactly how Emma Newman's writing is going to work really well with that kind of like secret intrigue type thing. And finally, at number 5, we've got Manners and Mutiny by Gail Carriger, that also comes out on the 3rd of November, and that is the 4th book in her Finishing School series. Now, I'm absolutely in love with the Finishing School series, so I can't wait to read this latest installment. This is Gail Carriger's second series in her steampunky Victorian England with werewolves and vampires, and it's actually a YA series that's about a finishing school that teaches young ladies of quality to flutter their eyelashes and be perfect young ladies, and also be spies and assassins, and it's all set on an airship. I'm just really excited about this one because I love the series. If you haven't read any of the series, I wouldn't advise picking this one up because there's quite a bit of backstory, but if that sounds cool, you should definitely check the first book in the series, and that's called Etiquette and Espionage. So those were my top 5 5 most anticipated pre-orders for the rest of 2015. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below if you've got other books that you cannot wait to get your hands on in 2015. And if you've done a Top 5 Wednesday post or video about this, let me know in the comments so I can go and check it out myself. If you'd like to see more from me, I've got some more Top 5 Wednesday videos here in the sidebar. If you haven't yet, please hit that subscribe button for more videos from me every week. I've been Claire, thanks so much for watching, and see you soon.